Well, this is an exciting evening. President Powers and Chairman Beckworth, and to all of you who have attended this event tonight, thank you so much. I see so many friends out in the audience, but I want to start by thanking my wife, Rhonda. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for her. We met after law school, after my time here at the University of Texas, but she has sustained me every day since. And so anything that you have seen as an accomplishment is a tribute to her and to her love. I can remember the first UT football game I ever attended. I was in high school, and I couldn't wait to see Earl Campbell. The date was October 1, 1977, and it was Rice versus UT. My brother, who is here tonight, a 1984 UT Law alumni, played linebacker for the Owls. I just knew that Lamont would ruin Earl's Heisman Trophy prospects. But oh, it wasn't pretty. Earl was Earl, and Lamont, well, after that game, Lamont decided to go to law school. Now, fortunately for the University of Texas, Lamont's football career extended beyond the Owls. He played for Charles Allen Wright's intramural flag football team, the Legal Eagles. So one day I took a break from my studies at Michigan State and watched Lamont play for the Eagles, and I met Charles Allen Wright after the game. Now, this was a big deal for me because when I mentioned to my professors at Michigan State that I had been accepted at UT Law School, every one of them, without exception, told me I would be lucky if I could get into Professor Wright's class. And they were so right. I had Charlie for constitutional law, for federal courts, and I played the role of sitting Supreme Court Justice Byron White in Professor Wright's seminar on the United States Supreme Court. So a collision with Earl Campbell persuaded Lamont that he should pursue the law. 3 courses with Professor Wright convinced me that I wanted to argue one day, as Charlie Wright did, before the Supreme Court of the United States. And when my chance came in 1996, I wrote to the professor and asked if he would help me prepare for the argument. Not only did he say yes, but he congratulated me, saying that many lawyers would go their entire careers without having a chance to argue before the United States Supreme Court. And his letter concluded with those 5 words you just heard that have inspired me to this day. The great Charles Allen Wright said, "I am proud of you." I was sitting in my chambers one day reflecting on Professor Wright and my time at the University of Texas. And it was right after I'd had lunch with former Chief Justice Joe Greenhill, also a former grad of this great university. And he was talking about his contest with Thurgood Marshall in Sweatt versus Painter in the mid-1940s, a case that went all the way to the US Supreme Court. And but for that decision, it may have been many more decades before African Americans were admitted into the University of Texas School of Law. And it struck me as I was thinking about that conversation that he mentioned that the creation of the Negro Law School was at an address just almost exactly the same as my court address at the Supreme Court of Texas. And yet here I was as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Texas. We have come a tremendously long way in this country in a very precious short amount of time. And what explains it? Education. Education explains it. Yes, my great-great-great-grandfather was a slave, but his grandsons and granddaughters were in schools at Meharry Medical School, at Howard University, maybe not the University of Texas, but through a progression of the law, I was able to attend, as was Lamont, and to succeed. It is education, and this institution is the greatest institutions to provide education to our students. Charlie Wright, the professors of the University of Texas School of Law, my brother Lamont, who is now a partner at Haynes and Boone, my fellow students during my tenure here, they all prepared me to advocate fiercely for my clients and, as a justice and chief justice, to preserve the rule of law so that the poor, no less than the wealthy, have a fair chance to vindicate their rights in a court of law. The greatest compliment I think I can give to this university for the leaders it has nourished throughout the years, including my fellow recipients of this high honor, is this: to the university, I am proud of you. Thank you.